Hey everyone, it's Jimmy Lou here, your investor-friendly real estate agent in Columbus, Ohio. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a real-world investment deal that I recently closed for one of my buyer clients. In this video, you're going to see a full 360 case study on the property. We're going to go over property photos, location breakdown, rent comps, ARV comps, and a full deal analysis so you can see why this was such a good long-term rental play. I'm going to be walking you through everything, from acquisition to renovation numbers to projected rents, and finally, the cash flow and equity that my client locked in from day one. My goal in this series is simple. I want to show you the real deals, real numbers, and how investors are winning right now in the Columbus, Ohio market, so you can learn the same exact strategy and apply it to your own investing journey. So with that being said, let's jump right into the case study.
All right, guys. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this property on Flex MLS, just so you guys can know the entire backstory, a little bit more about the condition of the property and how everything looks. So this property is 1275 Woodnell Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43219. My client closed on it for $135,000. However, I do want to let you know we had a $2,000 seller concession during the inspection contingency. So even though it says 135, make sure to treat it as 133 because again, we had a $2,000 seller concession. So $133,000, that's the price that we closed on it. With that being said, the property is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single family house. 3-1s are very, very common and very cutter here in Columbus, Ohio. So if you see a 3-1, do not be scared off. Again, this is very normal here in this market. Next up, we have 925 square feet. So a little bit of a smaller house, but again, that's totally okay. That's very normal for a 3-1 here in Columbus. Next up, we also have 2 off-street parking spots. So that's really good. There's no garage here. So that's another thing to know about this. There's 0 garage here. And aside from that, this property was sold on November 25th of 2025. So again, today's December 5th. So it was very, very recently, as you can see right here. And obviously I was the buyer's and my client used conventional finance. So let's jump into the photos of the property now. As you can see, the exterior of the property looks pretty solid. Maybe needs a pressure wash, but that's pretty much it. So the first thing I see when I look at the inside pictures is definitely the yellow needs to go. I always recommend using neutral colors like whites, grays. I recommend using a neutral color because that's going to be universal. Everyone likes colors like those. So I never recommend using a yellow. It just looks really tacky. It looks really ugly. It looks very outdated. And again, the paint doesn't look very good right now. So definitely will strongly recommend repainting the interior. Next up, we have the kitchen. Yep. So as you can see right here, the flooring looks to be in pretty solid shape as well. Next up, you have the kitchen. So the kitchen, you have white checker cabinets. So that's solid. You have laminate countertops, which are a little bit older, a little cheaper. I do not like those. But again, because it is a rental property, you are totally okay to keep your laminate countertops. Also, there's no stainless steel appliances, as you can see right here. So again, that's not a deal breaker. It's a rental property at the end of the day, so you can kind of get away with stuff like this. Laminate countertops, older appliances. Again, that's totally fine here. Another thing too is light fixtures are a little bit outdated, as you can see right there. Again, that's not something that you have to do right away. A lot of these updates can be done over time. So maybe in a few years, once you start bringing in some cash flow, you could then, start doing some of these repairs, but they are not necessarily needed right away. On top of that too, you also will have some handyman fixes for this property. So it does need some light cosmetics, but also I recommend some handyman fixes. The reason why is because when I walked this property, obviously I've walked this property a few times. There was a part of the kitchen right here. It was like kind of part of like the baseboards or the bottom of the kitchen that was coming off a little bit right there. So it does need some handyman fixes. Again, nothing major, just some simple handyman fixes as well too. But with that being said, kitchen looks to be in really solid shape, looks to be really good so far. Another thing I would also hopefully would love to update later in the future is put a farm style sink right here. Right now, the sink just looks very, very small. So again, that's something that you don't have to do, but you can put it down the line as well too. And then here's a bathroom. So the bathroom, I would say probably need a little bit of updating as well too. I would honestly replace the mirror. I would also replace the vanity. As you can see, there's some wear and tear right here. So update the kitchen, update the bathroom a little bit. I would not gut the kitchen or bathroom right now. They still look pretty solid shape. As you can see, the tub surround looks to be pretty solid right now. So again, just a little bit of updating. That's pretty much all that I would recommend. And then the bedrooms right here. And again, you have a little bit of wear and tear, as you can see right here. So probably some drywall patching, as you can see right here. Maybe replace some of the baseboards. Again, repaint the entire interior. Maybe update some of the light fixtures or replace some of the light fixtures. But that's pretty much it, honestly. And I see some stains on the paint, which again, we're going to get rid of that when we repaint the entire interior. Okay. So that is pretty much for the property. So again, as you can see right here, the property is very near turnkey. So it needs a little bit of light cosmetics, update the kitchen, update the bathroom, repaint the entire interior, do some handyman fixes. That is pretty much all you have to do right there. So I would say $7,000 or less. That's pretty much all is needed for the renovation. Next up is the location. So when it comes to looking at locations, I always recommend asking myself a few questions. Number one, does it feel safe here? Is it quiet? Are there a lot of families that live here? Is there traffic on the street? Are the cars super junky? Do the neighbors take care of their lawns? What's the curb appeal look like? I always make sure to ask myself these questions when I'm looking at the location of the property. And what I will say so far is with this location, I am a huge fan of it. It feels very safe. It feels like there's a lot of families here. It feels like a very nice little quiet residential neighborhood. And it has felt that way every time I walked it. I'm a huge fan of this neighborhood for that reason as well. So next up, we have the rent comps. So the rent comps, the one thing I want to let you know is you have to use the rent comps that are renovated, obviously. So we're going to ignore these two. We're going to use these ones, which are renovated rent comps in this case. As you can see right here, so I actually know this neighborhood very, very well. I will say the average market rents for renovated properties here, search for 3-1s, you are looking at $1,400 to $1,500 a month in market rent. So this is very normal right here. This is the typical range to look at. And again, they're 925 square feet. They're 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single family houses. So again, rent comp wise, it fits exactly what our subject property is. So market rent wise, we're looking at $1,400 to $1,500. I'm just going to use the middle ground of $1,450 just for the sake of it. And then next up, we're going to look at ARV comps. Okay. So as you can see right here, we have our subject property. So the first thing I want to let you know is we also do have an appraisal that came back for this property. So when my client was under contract, we got an appraisal during like the financing contingency, and we got our appraisal back. It appraised at $145,000 as is. So this is as is. This is what without any renovations done, without any work being done. As is, this is $145,000 based on the comps. So because of that, what that means is right from the get-go, we have $12,000 worth of built-in equity right from day one without any work needed. Obviously, after we put in a little bit of work and renovate the property, then the ARV is going to be much more than $145,000. So just to give you a quick example of some of the comps that we're looking at right here. So we have this comp that's $160K. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single family house, pretty much same exact layout as our house, 925 square feet. This property is actually a very ugly property. Like look at the flooring, the light fixtures. You have laminate flooring, ugly light fixtures. You have an ugly kitchen, like kitchen looks horrendous. You have washer and dryer in the kitchen, which doesn't really make sense. I'm not a huge fan of that. Also, it looks like you have some missing appliances, no microwave right here either. You have some stainless steel appliances, but that's pretty much it. Also, the washer and dryer should be right here instead in this room. I don't know why it's in the kitchen. The tile just looks really ugly. Honestly, I would rip all this out right here. So bathroom looks really ugly as well too. Flooring looks kind of stained. Looks like really ugly old carpet as well too. So again, this house needs a lot of work. This one, which exactly looks like our property, it's sold at $160K. So because it sold at $160K and it's unrenovated and needs a lot more work than our property is definitely going to be valued much higher. Okay. So with this other one, we don't actually have photos for. As you can see right here, we don't have any photos to work with, but it's a 3-1, 925 square feet layout as our house. I would say ARV wise, once we renovate this property and make ours look so much better, we're anywhere from 170 to 180K. As a reminder, I want to let you know, our purchase price for this property, our subject property, it's $133, but we're going to put in $7,000 worth of renovation in, again, based on my estimate. So we're all in at $140K. But if the ARV is K, that means we have a spread of $30,000 to $40,000 worth of built-in equity after we renovate the property. So that's incredible. And on top of that too, hit the 1% rule, obviously, as you know, so the rent comps here too. So with that being said, let's jump into the deal analysis calculator. So right here, we have the calculator pulled up. So I'm going to go through each of these lines, line by line, and kind of explain my reasoning behind all these numbers. So purchase price wise, we're at 133. As you know, we're at $7,000 in terms of renovation budget. Closing cost wise, the rule of thumb is typically 1.5% of the purchase price. So obviously this is just a general ballpark range. I'm just going to use 1.5% of the purchase price rate here for closing costs. Next up is 20% down payment. Because my buyer client did use conventional financing for this property, to buy an investment property, you do need a minimum of 20% down. That's like the minimum threshold you will always need if you're buying an investment property and you're not living there as a primary residence. So minimum down is 20% in this situation. And then next up, my client, again, he used conventional financing. So because of that, he did a 30-year fixed loan. Again, that's very normal when it comes to conventional finance in this situation. Next up is interest rate. So interest rates currently right now for investment properties, you're looking at around 6.5%. So because of that, I use the number 6.5 in this case. Next up is his loan amount. So obviously that's going to be the entire price of the property minus his down payment. And then you have his loan balance remaining right here, which is $106,400. Next up, you have his income. So rent wise, he's at $1,450, which is the market rents. We do not make any income off of the utilities. So with the utilities, that's completely the tenant's responsibility. We do not make any income off of that, but also we're not losing money either from that as well too. When it comes to utilities, that is completely on the tenant's responsibility and we'll never pay for that. Next up, afterwards, we have reserves. So when it comes to reserves, one thing I always tell my investor clients is you should be conservative, but not overly conservative. So what I mean by that is I always recommend 8-5-5. So what I mean by that is 8% for PM fees, 5% for CapEx and maintenance, 5% for vacancy. I personally have seen a lot of investors go 10-10-10 or 12-12-12. When you use all these crazy numbers or percentages that are very, very conservative, like 10% or 12%, I will be honest with you here, there will never be a deal that ever makes sense. Just because, again, if you're overly conservative, even if you found a deal that even hit the 1% or even 2% rule, you would still be negative cash flow. So my best advice is be conservative, but not overly conservative. So my recommendation is always 8-5-5, 8% for PM fees, 5% for CapEx and maintenance, and 5% for vacancy. That's my rule of thumb right there. And next up is utilities. So again, with utilities, we are not paying for the utilities. And because of that, there's no expenses involved. Utilities are completely the tenant's responsibilities. When it comes to additional expenses, so another thing too, is that tenants are also responsible for lawn care and for snow removal, especially if it's a single family house. So because of that, you will never have to pay for that. There is no additional expenses aside from obviously PITI. And then next up, you're looking at insurance. So when it comes to a house that's $133,000, probably roughly looking at $80 a month in terms of insurance. It's very, very cheap here in Columbus, Ohio. So because of that, I budgeted $960 a year when it comes to home insurance for a property of this size. Next up is taxes. So with taxes, we're looking at $1,651 a year, which I pulled from the auditor's side. So that is very accurate right there. And that is pretty much all your numbers when it comes to calculating the PITI. And after we put in all the numbers, we have cash flowing wise annually, we are cash flowing $3,700, or in this case, 21% cash on cash return. So that's amazing, honestly. Again, this deal pretty much checks all the boxes. Number one, it hits the 1% rule, cash flows very well. That is roughly $300 a month cash flow. Also, there's a ton of built-in equity. Right from day one, you have $12,000 worth of built-in equity for my client. But once he renovates the property and makes it look so much better, roughly $30,000 to $40,000 worth of built-in equity afterwards. And then very lastly, it's in a solid location. I'm a huge fan of the location. Honestly, in that area, it's going to appreciate very, very well as well too. So with that being said, in my opinion, I love this deal. It checks all the boxes. If you have any questions, please let me know. But that pretty much wraps up the video right there. If you're looking for a deal very similar to this one, feel free to hit me up and I would love to work with you and I would love to help you find your next investment deal. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to me or make sure to drop a comment below. Thank you so much. Bye.